Alright, so I took a quick break, kind of try and figure out how to fix him in silence without having to worry to talk to the camera. No luck still, but we made it all the way down to the end of his property, and I've kind of come to the decision that I will not let this horse leave this property as long as I'm on him until he regains his sane of mind. And it's going to be a long fight for sure, definitely. But sometimes you just need one long 3-hour day on this horse for him to finally understand a bit more. So right now I'm going back to just trying about so see right there, I was asking him to back up and he backed up while turning his head to go backwards. So I'm going to turn him against home. And like I said, this horse right now, he's running underneath me. This entire time he's been running underneath me. I don't know if that makes sense, but he's running underneath me this entire time, and I don't like that. He's acting like a barrel horse when they're ready to go out the gate. He wants to go flying out, and he's running underneath me because I don't want him to go flying out. Now, I think my sister's going home, which is fine if she wants to. She's out of sight, I can tell you that much. But I don't want him running underneath me. So I'm going to try and control him the best I can and kind of try and, I don't know how to say this, but if he's giving me a calm walk like he is doing right now, I'm going to let him walk. He can walk home calmly. But the second he starts acting very erratic or he takes off running, we can turn around and we can go away from home. And I think that's kind of the, he's starting to get it right now because he's calming down. That's sort of the what I'm going for right now, what I want to try now next, because doing all this swerving around has only made him worse, and I think that's because he knows that we're about done now. So see, he broke out running. We're gonna go back home then. We can walk a few steps back. Oh, they're over there. Anya, you can go home. I'm just gonna let her go home because she wants to. I'm not gonna make her stay here with me. She's been kind enough to be quite patient with us so far. I'm gonna sit very back. I do have a very forward seat and a forward, like at all times, very forward. Like my horse is very forward. And I sometimes ruin it for myself that I sit too forward when I'm asking to go back, and it can sometimes confuse these hotter horses. I learned that while riding a very hot thoroughbred. The one I was talking about that I realized I could not cope with. You can go home. Don't worry about me. Just go home. I'm trying to walk home. My new tactic is that every time he starts running, easy, whoa, whoa. Easy, whoa. I'm gonna try talking to him more. I haven't been talking very much because I'm talking to you guys. Whoa, easy, whoa. Oof, there's a cold wind that just came in. Whoa, easy, whoa. Oh, kind of just pet and scratch him. We're gonna take the road back home today. His walk is very forward, but it's a walk nonetheless, so I'm just gonna take it. I'm not gonna ask him for a slow walk. Okay, I'm gonna let that one slide, but you do that again, I'm not gonna let it slide. Anywho, like I was saying, I can sometimes obstruct my own training because of my own bad habits. And that's one of the things. Sometimes you not only have to work on the horse, but yourself, especially if you're training in something that's very forward, such as barrels or dressage, where the horse has to constantly always be very forward, or jumping. So I tend to be a very forward body posture, and that's a very bad thing for me. Now, for these next few days, we're going to keep practicing this. I'm not going to let him go home until he's either calmed down or he can walk sanely home. And I'm going to do it without my sister. One of the other things I'm going to practice I'm probably going to do this more often because now I have found an actual issue that he seems to really be struggling. This is the second time he's done this in a row, which means I've had a bit of trouble with this in the past, but not to this extent. I'm talking very low right now because I'm trying to be lower. I'm trying to remind myself to be lower, is to not aggravate him into thinking we're going forward or to encourage him in any way. So I'm going to have a very easygoing body posture. And as you can see, he did a lot better than he did yesterday. Yesterday it took till like around halfway down the road to get him to walk, but today we were able to enter the road walking. So you kind of do have to go at this bit by bit. There's nothing you can do about it. I did. Some things are just going to take time. These are one of the things that are going to take time, especially things like barn and buddy sourness, because that is in the horse's nature. And it's one of the harder things to break, especially if they've been doing it for a little while. But yeah, even though like sometimes they always say never run home and your horse won't be barn sour, but that's at least the assumption I was under. It's not always right. He can get very barn sour even if we walk home every day, because we're doing a repetitive pattern of going home, running down the road, and then walking back home. So today was a twist because I kept him in that yard for an extended period of time, which normally we go to that yard, we could come straight back, which is one thing I also gonna have to work on. Yes. I've gone down it before. It's not very long, but yeah, but I'm pretty sure he made it longer. Look at Kuka waiting for us at home. She's a good dog. Should have taken her with me today, but I didn't. But anywho, yeah. So when you're training a horse, it's not only you. It's not only the horse you're training, but it's also yourself. And yes, it's very easy to go and take lessons, like official proper lessons, learn how to ride in a saddle and learn a bit more, which is what I did for a year. But it is very expensive, and I know a lot of equestrians probably don't have that liberty. I didn't have that liberty for 2 years to go take classes. So it was kind of me, YouTube, and Instagram, and my little pony. But I had a blast, don't get me wrong, it was a lot of fun. And my pony, she's a weird sense of broke and not broke. Like, she's very it's the way I cope with her. It's hard to explain. I'll have to, maybe I have some videos, but she's a real good mare, even though she does seem to act crazy. But she's real good, trust me. And she's taught me a lot. We learned a lot. And with training, it really is success and failure, because for every horse and for every person on top of that horse, it's very different. And I've only really trained 3 horses, him being my third. Well, I have trained my mare, so 4 horses I've trained. I know. She's so cute, isn't she? But
Cute, but a bad girl. She's supposed to be there.
the Mustang I had was also a big learning curve. Like I said, when you're training horses, expect to be there setbacks, and there's going to be a lot of them. But there's also going to be a lot of step forwards at the same time. It's kind of at the very beginning, it's going to be 1 step forward, 2 steps back, 1 step forward, 2 steps back. But as you get better at it, and as you understand the horse and yourself more, you can most definitely train a horse. I did it with my mare. I taught her to jump from nothing. She didn't know how to even trot over a pole, and I taught her to jump a meter, so she could basically jump over herself if she wanted to. And I did that all with just YouTube and Instagram and no saddle. I've never ridden officially in a saddle, and probably never will.
Oh, bye, Lisa.
You can see Kuka waiting for us. You're such a good girl, aren't you? Aren't you? Come on. I give you some treats? How does that sound?
She's not even supposed to be out of the light.
You can see my crazy mare over there. But yeah, that's the thing with training. Expect there to be a lot of setbacks, especially if it's your first time or you're not very used to this horse. I'm not very used to this horse either. I'm just now looking and seeing some problems that he has, and I'm just now starting to fix them. And you also have to keep in mind, I know I'm repeating myself, but it's important to train yourself. No reins. Back up, back up, back up. Very important thing to teach your horse, in my opinion. Back him up every time I get off. It'll save me one of these days. and it's good for them. But you saw I did it with no reins, and I asked out of nowhere. But yeah, end of the story is that it's getting dark now. The sun is just setting. I went and I galloped down the road in the middle of night in total darkness where I got whacked by a branch, and he brought me back home in one piece. So in some ways he's very broke, in other ways he's very he has a few bad habits, but every horse will have them. And we're fixing them now. And right now the one that seems to be our biggest problem is barn sourness, or whatever type of barn sourness he has, because it's very strange in my opinion. He did walk through the gates today though. But as you can see, he again worked up a bit of a sweat. There's a few things I can do to help stop this, but we're working on them now. Today has definitely cemented that he has some sort of barn sourness problem, buddy sourness problems. But again, every horse will have them. That's in their nature. There's nothing you can do about it, but train it so that they understand that they can't do it, or train them so they know when they can and can't do it. And it's one or the other. No, it's off. It should be off. You're the one here last. But yeah, that was one of the less successful rides, but at the same time, a bit more.
Go ahead, my lady. Okay, go over here with me.
He's done a good job. Come on. There's nothing scary.
No, nothing. The fencing is not going to kill you, buddy.
Go easy. But yeah, he had pretty hard work today. We really did quite a bit of training, and I am quite proud of him. So yeah, we're done. We're done with today. Good boy.